Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the match preview. Newcastle United versus Everton at St James's Park. 2 o'clock kickoff on Sunday. A game we really hope we bounce back in. Really important game, this one, isn't it, Baz?
Yeah, massive game to see for this season. We've not faced this, have we? We've not had to bounce back so far this season in any game. The previous 8 we'd won 7 and drawn 1. So this is a different kind of test, I guess, for Everton, and it's a big test because we're without 3 of our best players for it, which is obviously Seamus, Coleman, Lucas Digne, and Richarlison. So it's going to be a big ask for Everton this Sunday, but it's a game that we can win. There's no question about it.
Yeah, it always seems tough going to St James's Park, doesn't it? Even though we've got a decent record in the last few years, I think, but it always just feels like, I don't know, just one of those trips that you just want to avoid.
It is a tough place to go. Even normally, obviously, very vociferous crowd there, and it just feels like that. It is a difficult. It's always a difficult game, and yet Everton have won most away games against Newcastle and any other team in the Premier League. Yeah. We've had more victories there than any other team. So I think only West Ham have got a better away record at Newcastle and Everton. I think they've won 11 away games. Everton have won 8 at Newcastle United, which is more than any other Premier League club. So it's not been a bad hunting ground for us, but it is always one of those games which are going to be difficult. With the exception really of in Martinez's first season when we went up there and won 3-0. I think most other games have been very tight, and it's always been a difficult game. So Sunday, I'm expecting no difference. I'm expecting a very, very difficult game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you mentioned there it's empty ground, so a lot of these away games now just feel, I don't know, similar, don't they? Very samey. I think Bruce mentioned how much they are missing the crowd and how some of their games could be turned. Last time out they played Manchester United, they were 1-1 for the last 5 minutes. Till the last 5 minutes, and then Man United grabbed the goal and then Man United run away with it. Whereas if they had the crowd in, and I know that's the same everywhere, but they've been very reliant on that extra boost, I think. Newcastle so far won 2, lost 2, drawn 2, and they've been a very sort of stubborn side, haven't they, so far, trying to stay in every single game to make sure they can get something out of it.
Yeah, they're a well-organised team, aren't they? And they're quite durable in games. They hang on in there, and they do remind me a little bit of some of the David Moyes type teams of just make sure that you stay in that game, and they have got that bit of quality with their St Maxim. They've got Callum Wilson who'll get you goals up there as well. Ryan Fraser, who's not a bad little player either. So there's some quality in that side. It's just at the minute for them, they are staying in the games. They're becoming difficult to beat. And Burnley have proved. I think Newcastle are a better football team than Burnley, but Burnley have proved that if you are difficult to beat and well organised, you do well in this Premier League. And it's something we were saying about with Everton last season, is that we just weren't hard enough to beat. Certainly in the first part of the season. And if we would have stayed in more games last season, I think we'd have had a better season overall. But they're doing that. They're fighting for every game. At the weekend against Wolves, they were 1-0 down till late on, and then a cracking free kick from Josh Murphy, I think it was, got them a point. It's it really well. So they are proving tough nuts to crack at times. I know, like you just said, Manchester United beat them 4-1, but with 5 minutes left, 5 or 6 minutes left, it was 1-1, and the crowd at St James's there could have quite easily pushed that into Newcastle's favour. We've seen that they've beaten the likes of Manchester City and that at home over the last couple of years when City have been brilliant. So they've had some really good wins, and they are a bit like us. They are missing that little push from the crowd at home, but they are in the games. And again, this feels like that first goal is massively important in this game again. It felt a bit like that on Sunday, and it feels a bit like that for me this week as well.
Yeah, I think if they get the first goal, they're going to make it very, very difficult for us. They're going to make it very, very difficult anyway. I've seen last weekend when they play Wolves take the lead, and again, it reminds me of when we had Sam Allardyce, when you'd go 1-0 down, but he wouldn't go chasing the game, and the tactics wouldn't be going to chase the game. It would be keep it as tight as you can, almost play like you're winning 1-0, or you're trying to, you're drawing and you're trying to get away with a point. He'd keep it as tight as he can, and it's the same with Steve Bruce, because they know they're going to get a chance at some point. Every team is going to get a chance at some point. I mean, you just mentioned Sunday there. When Everton went 1-0 down, we weren't playing well. If we just dug in and tried to get ourselves back into the game, then we might have. But we conceded so quickly after that the game was gone. Now, Newcastle look to me like a team that they know they've got limitations. Of course they have. But what they're trying to do is, well, if you go 1-0 down, just stay in the game, and a chance will, with the forwards they've got, that bit of pace, they will get a chance at some point. And like you said against Wolves, they get a free kick in the last moment. The lad bends it round the non-existent wall, and it's 1-1, and they come away with a point. The same with Spurs. They get battered the whole game, and then the last minute they put a ball in the box, hand goes up, it's a penalty, and they get a draw out of it. And that's how you stay in the Premier League. That's how you get mid-table in the Premier League if you are disciplined enough.
Definitely, and like I said, then they have got that bit of quality in the final third to hurt you. They've got, like I say, the pace of St. Maxim, and Callum Wilson's a goal scorer. He scored goals in the Premier League every year he's been in it. He's just been unlucky with big injuries. So they've got that. They have got that extra little bit of quality. They've got Almiron, who I think's a really good footballer. Mentioned Ryan Fraser before. Joe Linton, who, he hasn't come up with the goods for them in terms of goals, but he's a handful. He's a big lad as well. So they have got that bit of quality at the other end of the pitch. Like I say, it's very reminiscent of some Everton sides under Moyes for me. Whereas, keep it nice and tight, and like you say, we've got that bit of quality at the top end of the pitch. If we do keep it tight, we will get the opportunity, and we make it difficult. And it's not a bad kind of game plan to have, really, because it does get you halfway up the league, and then you're hoping that your other players will win those games when it is tight for you and get you that little bit higher. So, I think Steve Bruce has done a good job there. He's faced a lot of adversity in his time at Newcastle. He's a Geordie, he's a Newcastle fan. Obviously, he's been Sunderland manager, so he's always had that on his back a little bit. Then, obviously, the rumours of, working with Mike Ashley deserves an award anyway. And then there's obviously the rumours of takeover that was going on for months and months, and he was getting sacked, and he was getting this manager in and this manager in. Yeah. And then in the summer, there was a big transfer kitty, then there wasn't. And he's just rolled with all the punches, and, he's got his side. Again, I think that they're about halfway up in the league at the moment, so they're doing, they're doing all right. They're doing okay.
Yeah, it's funny you said that about Everton, because I was watching Match of the Day 2 on Sunday, and they had Leon Osman and Tim Cahill, and they'd watched the Newcastle game, and he just said, this reminds us of what an old manager used to make us do. So obviously very, very similar to what Moyes tried to do, just stay in the game, and then have a player like Tim Cahill, or, for them, St. Maxim, whatever their strength is, to just try and get you that goal. And so far, it's 2 defeats, one against Manchester United, and I think the other one was Brighton, wasn't it? Which will disappoint them more than anything. But I think for us on Sunday, we've just got to go at. We're gonna have loads of the ball, aren't we? I think, and they'll try and break on us, and it'll just be what we do with the ball. And if we have the same energies we had on Sunday, then we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
So for us, we have to use it well. We have to be patient as well, and hopefully, when the chances present themselves, take them. And that's all you can do. We've got to be organised ourselves. We've been conceding far too many goals, but what we can't do is give up that first goal.
Yeah, the first goal, it sounds silly sometimes to say, but the Premier League is, I think it's 71% of the time the team who gets the first goal wins the game or something like that. They certainly don't lose it. So the first goal is key. And in this, without Richarlison, when you've got Richarlison, you feel like you've always got a chance in the game. He's going to create something. or he can get you the goal. He's a big miss for us, there's no question about it.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've got to create opportunities for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We created nothing for him last week, nothing for the lad. He didn't have anything. And we know he's not a striker that makes his own chances, really. You know, Dom thrives on crosses or creating something for him. And that was something we didn't do well enough at the weekend. I've just done the numbers game for Peyton, and I've had a couple of opportunities where I've stopped it and froze the game, and especially the Iwobi one when he has the shot early on. And Dean makes a great run, and if he just uses a better selection in his mind, i.e. just roll it to Dean, he cuts it across, Dom's got a tap in, and we score a lot of those goals. And it was like that on Sunday. Yeah. The decision making in the final third was wrong. We talked about on the final word the Calvert-Lewin one when he should roll it into the corner. You know, it's that kind of decision making. We've got to be better at that this weekend, because it will be a tight game. But you know, we obviously James played last week and he wasn't fit. We're hoping that another week's training he'll be back up to speed. And the manager's got a couple of difficult decisions, really. But I'd be going with the young lads off the left for that energy and enthusiasm, because although it is a tough game, you wanna almost surprise Newcastle as well. Have a little element of surprise with Nkunku and with Anthony Gordon. You know, they know how we play with Lucas Digne because he's very good. You've sometimes used those for your advantage to catch a team off guard a little bit. They don't really know these two players and they haven't really planned for it, and that might be key at the weekend. But also I think something you've said this week on various things we've done, getting that midfield trio right will be absolutely vital, I think, for this game.
Definitely. Definitely. The team selection is going to be really interesting. Obviously Lucas Digne's missing. For you is it just Niles and Nkunku comes in there?
Yeah, I don't want to see Fabian Delph, put there as shoehorned in. I don't think he needs to be. Experience, brilliant, but I just think Nkunku has got the physical attributes to play in the Premier League. We've seen him absolutely outstanding in the Carabao Cup, especially against lower league. He looked on a different level to the lower league. But then when he played against West Ham and he was up against Yarmolenko, it was a more mature performance. He knew that he couldn't forget about his defensive duties, but still supported the attack. So I would have no hesitation in playing Niels Nkunku at the weekend, because we need. Listen, he's our number 2 there. That's the backup. We didn't get a left back. A lot of people thought we'd get a left back when Baines went out, and Nkunku's performances probably convinced them they didn't need to. So Lucas Digne's out, so you put him in, and might be a little bit of a baptism of fire, but there's no crowd. So it's just 11v11 for him. So I think really his power and pace down that left, I think he could cause Newcastle real issues at the weekend. And that's what we need. We need someone who's going to be brave. Because I don't know about you, but Lucas Digne, I don't think he had a very good game at the weekend. I think the both goals he could have done better with. And then he just didn't seem, it's probably because of Obi didn't help him out, but he just didn't seem to be able to get up the pitch, particularly once we'd gone 2-0 down. And I'm not having a go at Luca, but he didn't have his best game. Normally he's so vital to us, isn't he? Normally he's like one of our biggest attacking threats, and I just don't feel like he did it at the weekend. But I feel as though Nkunku, the enthusiasm, a full Premier League debut, I think that might be the energy that the team needs as well, really. Something a little bit just to be a starting point.
Yeah, there's interesting choices, like you mentioned there. Fabian Delph, is he going to be involved? Anthony Gordon, is he going to start on the left? It's whether Carlo Ancelotti believes that last Sunday was just a blip and the players who come in need more time. And the same in midfield as well. I can imagine he'll just go back to Andre Gomez rather than keep going round the houses and going, well, he might just go, well, Andre Gomez had a poor game against Liverpool. And maybe there's reasons behind that we don't know. He never came off the bench at Southampton. And he might come in and start because he's one of his starting 3. And that way you're keeping that continuity rather than new left back, new left winger, or left-sided forward. And then Andre Gomez just completes that 3 that obviously started the season. Because otherwise it's dead easy to go, Iwobi should come out, Anthony Gordon should come in, Fabian Delph should come into midfield, and suddenly before you know it, you're on like your third choice centre midfielder, and you're on your third choice left winger, and do you know what I mean? And you're going round the houses. You've already got a right back who's not your first choice right back, and suddenly before you know, you've changed half your team.
Mm. And people are wondering why you're losing or not playing as well.
Yeah,
but the other thing as well, that midfield with Gomez in hadn't lost a game, so it, quite clearly they've all seemed to understand what each other's doing, don't they? And I feel as though Gylfi's been better from the bench anyway. Really, I think he had his opportunity Sunday, he didn't take it. I don't think Iwobi took his Sunday.
No,
Bernard was all right, but didn't really affect the game. So I think, maybe just put Gomez back into that midfield. That's been in for most of the games, and then I would freshen that left side up. And then obviously the other choice is the right back choice. Obviously Ben Godfrey come on after half an hour in the derby and played that and did okay. Played at the weekend and was a little bit exposed. I mean, what would you do there? Because obviously I think John Joe Kenny is training and will be fit. Would you not risk Kenny, but would you play Kenny, or would you leave Godfrey in again for another week?
I suppose it depends on what the manager will have seen in training this week. As Godfrey, is Godfrey understanding the role, or do they expect Newcastle to target him like Southampton did? I can't see Newcastle going after Godfrey. I can see it almost like the other way around, where they're almost happy for him to have the ball and then break when he comes forward. Do you know what I mean? Because if you've got a player like Godfrey and he's going forward and he's not natural at going forward, but you're inviting him to go forward, and then his final ball isn't good, that's actually better for Newcastle to help them break. So I don't expect Newcastle to put pressure on Godfrey if he starts. Now, whichever way Carlo Ancelotti looks at that, he might think that would be an easier game for Godfrey. I don't, what I mean? It's whichever way he interprets it, but
I just think Godfrey's recovery pace is massive. That's what I think, especially because St. Maxim is lightning.
Definitely,
I think you need someone who's quick.
Yeah. It'd be interesting on it. I suppose the question would have been, if John Joe Kenny had been fit last Sunday, would he have started?
Yeah, you don't know, do you? You don't. We've all said Godfrey, and so I don't know. I mean, Kenny played at right back for Schalke for 30 odd games last season in the Bundesliga, so he quite clearly knows the role. I just think he's very quick. It's very quick. St. Maxim is very quick, so up against Kenny, who I don't think is very quick. He's not slow, but he's not lightning like St. Maxim. That would worry me a little bit, but the manager will have seen it all week, won't he? And he'll go with what he thinks is best, obviously.
Yeah. Let's just have a little look at the Newcastle side that played Wolves. So they started with basically 5 at the back. 3 in midfield, but 2 of them are wingers, funny enough.
Yeah.
With Fraser and Almiron. And then St. Maxim, I suppose, is a bit of a free roll, really, isn't he?
Yeah. With that pace,
and then Callum Wilson up front. Yeah.
And Callum Wilson is obviously their focal points up front. So there's, you look at Fraser, you see Almiron there, you see St. Maxim there, obviously 3 players who are creative. And then you've got Callum Wilson. So it is a case of keeping nice and tight, and those attacking players will get an opportunity and punish it. At the week before against United, they played a 4-1-4-1 formation, and that stuck them in the game as well. So Steve Bruce has tinkered with it at times this season and really tried to, he might be looking for his best formation, I don't know, or he's just playing it game by game. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. I could see them maybe going with a 4-3-3 and matching us up at the weekend with one either side, St. Max on one side, maybe Ryan Fraser on the other side of Callum Wilson. But because I know John Joe Shelby's out, he's had a hernia, so he won't be playing. So I guess it depends who he's got available in the midfield. One of the Longstaff brothers or whatever in there. So, but Everton have got, we've got more than enough to do well. We're top of the league. We mightn't be by the time. We probably won't be by the time we kick off on Sunday because all the games are played first. But we're top of the league for a reason so far this season, and that's because we've found a way to win a lot of games. Sunday was a big disappointment, but we've got to bounce back, and it's the first real test, isn't it? I suppose. Well, a different type of test. We've had tests. Obviously, Liverpool was a big test. You know, you'd always have to go through them games. Well, but this is a tricky one because we've got to bounce back.
Carlo Ancelotti said, didn't he, a few weeks ago, he said the bubble will burst at some point, and it's how we react.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a really interesting time at the moment because obviously 2 games before the international window break, we've got Richarlison out injured, we've got Digne suspended, maybe a squad not looking as fresh as it did. But after the international break, you know, we've got a real opportunity for a few players coming back. There's you know, Mason Holgate, Jared Branthwaite, Geoffrey Cabaman, not that Seamus Coleman. Even someone like Shank Tosin, which some people, you know, have completely forgotten about. It's another player in the squad. You know, people are bemoaning the fact that we haven't got another forward or that Moise Keane scoring goals for PSG. You know, to get him back into the squad, just to competing, just to be pushing other people. You know, he'll be hungry. You know, he's whether it's for a move in January or because it's the Euros at the end of the year and Turkey are there. You know, he'll be pushing. So let's dig in Sunday. Let's go up there. Let's have a game plan and hopefully let's see it through. And then Man United next week will take care of itself. And then we go into that international break, and then we could have 3 or 4 players coming back after that.
Yeah, definitely. Sunday's a big game. We could win it being an incredible, boost for us going forward. United play Champions League next Wednesday in Turkey, don't they? And then they've got us at half 12. So that's, good for us. We've got a fresh week. But it is like, Sunday, the manager will have got some key decisions to make for the weekend. But moving forward, we could be talking getting 5 or 6 of our squad back, and certainly the likes of Coleman, Richarlison, getting them, Lucas Digne, getting them back and fitting into the squad and into the team rather, and then obviously Mason Holgate to be a huge boost for us and takes that pressure off, doesn't it? At the back as well, and you've got real choices. You've got, if we get Coleman back, you've then got a real choice of, is it Holgate, is it Godfrey to partner Michael Keane or Yerry Mina? You've actually got the choices that the manager wanted. He's not been able to have those opportunities at the moment to make a choice because we keep picking up these injuries. But Sunday will be a big game, and it's an opportunity for Everton to get over a big obstacle that's been placed. Can you bounce back after your first defeat?
Definitely. There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments.
Depressing time.
Are you doing the depressing stats?
Yeah. Go
on then.
May as well just finish with a few. Only West Ham have won more away Premier League games against Newcastle and Everton, like I said before. Newcastle haven't had a great home record of late. Everton have drawn only 1 Premier League game during Carlo Ancelotti's reign. It was at West Ham in January. It's mad, isn't it? I'm not reading that one because it's grim. No Premier League club has registered fewer shots on target this season than Newcastle. They're averaging 2 a game, which again just buys into that. Stay in the game, be durable, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Everton have had a player sent off in the last 2 Premier League games. They're looking to avoid being the 10th side to see red in 3 successive outings since Watford in December 2017. Everton's Dominic Calvert-Lewin has scored more Premier League goals against Newcastle than he has against any other opponent. He scored 4 in his last 3. And only Manchester United's Bruno Fernandes has created more goal-scoring opportunities than James Rodriguez this season. Fernandes has 18, Rodriguez has 17. So let's hope he is on it on Sunday.
Yeah, and his injury situation is cleared up now that we know what it was.
Yeah, painful. Let's leave it at that.
Painful,
very painful.
In the old, yeah. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this one. Are you confident or are you a little bit nervous? Let us know. Don't forget, give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching. See you later.